call the meeting to order. And the first order of business is that we have the members of the public attending. Are there any members of the public attending?
Oh. None online.
None online, sir.
Thank you so much. We also have quorum. There are 4 of the 5 commissioners members. And Vice Chair Monk is on his way. So I'd like to go into new business. First of all, with the chair's report, are there any announcements?
No.
Sorry, this is Moana, Chair.
Yes.
You need to report where you are and if there's anyone in the room with you. I don't think there's any other
yes.
commissioners online, but I think you need to do that before we move forward.
Okay, let me first ask, with respect to all commissioners, I believe are present, so there's no one else in the room with them. I'm in my hotel, and right now there is nobody present with me. But I wish to warn you that soon they'll be coming in and packing to leave. So, but they can't hear anything because I have microphones, so they won't be able to participate in the meeting at all. Okay. With respect to, are there any other special instructions? I don't know of any.
Not that I'm aware of at the moment.
Okay. How about correspondence? I'm not aware of any specific correspondence. And in terms of the additional distribution, I wish to note for the record that yesterday we received a memo from, I believe it's Natalie Iwasi, which mostly addressed concerns regarding the PIG and the agenda. And she wanted to indicate she had questions regarding the notation, no update. She found this to be a little confusing. I'm not certain what confusion she had in mind. And if she is here and a member of the public asking specific questions, we would address this. Also, with respect to the permitted interaction groups, she just had, I believe she had reinforced what had already taken place with respect to the permitted interaction group on the issue of our new direction and strategic planning. So we thank her for reiterating what the Sunshine Law permits and does not permit with respect to the permitted interaction group. And we all received this yesterday, and I read it, and I hope the other commissioner members have had a chance to read it. Next, I wish to go into the actions of approval of last month's open sessions. And does anybody, has everybody had the opportunity to read the minutes of the last meeting on December 18th, 2024? Does anyone have any questions concerning the meetings of the minutes of December 18th?
Move. Move for approval.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Move for approval.
Yes, okay. We have a motion from Commissioner Adler to approve the minutes of the December 18, 2024 meeting. It's so moved. Is there a second?
Second. Cynthia, second. Commissioner Lynch.
Commissioner Lynch seconded. Are there any objections to the minutes? Having heard no objections, the minutes of December 18th, 2024 are approved as is without any corrections. Now I would like to turn the floor matter over to the executive director and legal counsel for their specific report.
Thank you, Chair Jaman. Good morning, everyone. We'll start slide 5 with the staffing update. The work report summary is in the meeting materials for your review. I'm happy and very pleased to report that recruitment has been completed. And we welcome this morning Elmira Sang as our Assistant Executive Director and Legal Counsel. She is here, and I think she's had a chance to meet all of you already. Chair Monk, you're the only one who hasn't actually met her yet. I mean, Chair Jamon. I don't know if you wanted to say a little. She comes to us from the department.
Yes, I saw that. I wanted to wish her a good welcome on board, and we're happy to have you. And that we believe that the director has made a great choice, and we welcome your help and assistance.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to working with the commission as well. I'm assuming all the commissioners had a chance to review my CV, and so
Yes.
Chair Rice hasn't. So basically, I've been in private practice for about 11 years in civil litigation, doing some employment law and a lot of defense work. Some business work, some transactional, majority litigation. And thereafter, I went to the Attorney General's office in 2011, was a Deputy Attorney General for the Defense Division for about 2 years, as well as several legal boards, that's professional vocational licensing boards. And thereafter, I was Deputy Attorney General for the state's pension plan from 2013 till yesterday. I look forward to working with everybody here.
So I mentioned to her that everybody's going to have questions about the employees' retirement system.
That's right.
We know.
Probably. Probably.
Anyway, I'll move on.
Thank
to
you.
slide 6. Thank you and welcome, Mara. I'll move on to slide 6. This is merely reporting on, as you know, we are going through our financial disclosure filing period. The public disclosures received, as you can see on the clerk's office side, they are complete. All of their financial disclosures have been received and reviewed. We are still catching up. The employee side is very close to being completed. The board and commission side still has a few to go. We're reaching out to board and commission members at this point to encourage them to file as soon as possible so that we don't have to do any enforcement. On slide 7, we are reporting our lobbyist filings. As you know, that deadline was the 10th of January. The 2024 annual reports have been received. We are still catching up with a few more to go. Every registered lobbyist should be giving us an annual report. And then if they wish, they can file for their 2025 registrations to be a lobbyist, or they can wait until they're within 5 days of actually lobbying the city. On slide 8, you'll see the statistics for the requests for advice for December and January. And on slide 9, the number of active investigations, as well as closed investigations for December and January. On slide 10, we are looking at the budget cycle starting very soon. The executive budget typically goes over to council from the mayor's office in the first week of March. Departmental budget briefings, as well as the administration overview, commences on March 10th, and we are on that agenda. Unfortunately, we're at the end of that agenda with no indication of whether they'll take a lunch break or not. It could be a very long wait. There are any number of items ahead of us, including the admin review, all of the offices of the mayor, which is culture and the arts, housing, climate change, neighborhood commissions, economic revitalization. And then the budgets, the departments of budget and finance, emergency management, prosecuting attorney, Royal Fine Band, medical examiner, and dead last is corporation counsel and the ethics. So it could be a very, very long day.
Jan, I just want to remark that I plan to be there all day with you, regardless of how long it takes, but I've kind of made sure that I will be there
Okay.
to give
I'll
you
monitor
whatever
the
assistance I
meeting.
can.
Thank you. I'll monitor the meeting and hopefully give you the heads up a little closer to when we might go on, so you won't have to sit around all day.
Can I ask one question, though? I
Yes, of
noticed
course.
that there are still some outstanding registrations by lobbyists.
Yes.
I looked at it about 30 or 40 something, and I wondered what was being done to remind them that the deadline has passed and that they do need to register. If
Sure. We are
they do
reaching
have,
to all of the lobbyists who owe us an annual report, encouraging them to file. There are a few that do get extensions every year if they lobby for a national company. Many of those companies can't close their books by year end. And so they typically ask for an extension through January to give the company time to roll up their numbers. But we're reaching out to each of them, hoping that we can encourage them to file. The number is actually a little smaller than this, only because some lobbyists lobby for more than one organization. And so if say they lobby for 6 organizations, then they would owe us 6 different annuals, one for each of the organizations. But we're hoping to complete this work in the next couple of weeks, and then forego any kind of enforcement.
very good. And congratulations on the job that you've done.
Thank you. Staff has been working very hard, especially the legal clerks, the associate legal counsels have been great working with all of the different filers.
Thank you.
Oh, Vice Chair Mon arrived. I'll give you a few moments to settle. I think Chair Jamon wants to see the meeting to you as quickly as possible. So have a seat and we'll carry on.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see, I think the next matter on slide 11, I'm going to turn it over to our training specialist, Kirsten Aoyang.
Good morning, everyone. So to start, these are the city employee numbers for the biennial training. That was calendar year 2023 to 2024. It is at 8,862. This number is lower than what the number I reported on in December was. We're not sure why that's the case. I do the same exact steps as I always do. It could be that the Honolulu U, the training system that I fully report from, it could be they updated it and they possibly removed retired employees who have left the city, all that kind of stuff. So that's why the number is a bit lower around. We did send out the completion certificate memos to all departments to let us know if they completed their training. We've been doing cross-referencing to make sure that they did complete their training, and so far we got 26 certificates. So we are very close to getting all departments.
It's great.
Moving on to slide 12.
Can those online, can they?
If you're online and not speaking, would you please mute your
I
microphone?
think we're catching.
We're getting a
background.
little bit of background noise.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. For Board of Commission members, that number is 107. It has been an issue getting the Board of Commission members to do the training, not because of them, but because of the training system, Honolulu U. They haven't been able to properly log in. There's tons of different issues. I know that you have experienced your own issues trying to log in. So that's why the number is quite low. But, we did talk about the issues and we did come up with a temporary solution to send out a memo saying, hey, if you have not done your training, if you can't log in, please do the training in person. So that's what we did today. We did some in-person training. And hopefully there will be a fix by the time the next training comes out and possibly do hybrid, who knows, a fix that can work. I know that you folks have had issues. Would any of you like to comment on those issues?
Actually, the Department of Human Resources who
The shower harbor, everybody's.
runs the learning management system, you, has asked for the comments. What was the problem? You couldn't get in, or, and they want to hear it. So we are inviting your comments here at the meeting so that we can share it with the department. So have at it. Who'd like to go
I
first?
have no issue.
I myself, because of my my difficulty in computers, did have some difficulty, but after I obtained assistance from this department, from the ethics, from the personnel people, I whizzed right through it. Really, it was my fault. It was no one else's fault. So I appreciate that. However, I do know that the completions to date are low, and that may perhaps be attributed to some commissioners who have ended their terms and are therefore have possibly checked out, lack of a better word, and therefore are not going to complete or may not be willing to complete the training since they are already completed with their term. And I don't know what the number is. Perhaps we could ascertain what number they are. I'm
Yes,
not sure.
so-
Go ahead.
Yes, we have talked about the possibility of, commissioners, board members terming out, and they're still listed on the system. So when we sent out the in-person training memo, we did ask if they could let us know which members have termed out, so we just know what that total number is at the end.
I just want to commend Kirsten for being dogged about all this stuff. She's great.
Yes,
Thank you.
we appreciate that.
Yep.
Before you go on, and if there are any other comments, I would like to now cede control of the meeting. Vice Chair Monk, who will be pro temp chair for the remainder of the meeting. If nobody has any objections, he'll take over. And thank you very much, Chair Monk, for now chairing this meeting.
Acting chair. So
Acting
thank you,
chair.
Chair. Thank you, Chair, and my apologies to everyone. The Kalaniana Ole traffic situation was horrendous. It wasn't bad when I started from home on the map, but then for some reason it just got worse and worse coming in. And I never saw an accident or a breakdown or a construction project to account for it. It just, until we got to the H1, it was a parking lot. After that, it was fine. So anyway, I appreciate that you started, I hope on time, or more or less on time. I see that now with me here, we have a quorum of commissioners in the room. So in the unlikely event that we lose Chair Imon, he loses his connection, we can still proceed, I believe, having a quorum in the room. So
Yes.
please stay with us, Shelton. We would miss you if we were to lose you.
I will stay as long as my connection permits.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
So before we move on, may I
yes.
ask Commissioners Rice and Lynch if you could describe the issues that you had with Honolulu?
For me, it wanted I can't remember now because it's a while, but it wanted a PIN number or a password, and I didn't have one, and I got this big error that it kept, it would say, you need to enter your password, and then it wouldn't accept that, so I finally, after 4 days of trying, I abandoned it.
Say,
Was it the same?
I had no credentials. My credentials, I didn't have the credentials, and that was kind of every time I tried to log in, that's what it would say. I had the password, I had the correct email. But apparently, I don't know, I worked with Jan, and she had to literally walk me step for step to find exactly where I was supposed to click on the menu. it was very user unfriendly, very confusing. It was not clear directions as to how to access. But the problem was the credential issue in the beginning. I mean, that took months and months of Chris and I went back and forth. Then finally Jan got online and we walked through it on the phone.
The Department of Human Resources is the administrator for the system. And so unfortunately, we have to offer, as does the Equal Opportunity Office, we have to offer our training on that learning management system. We didn't know it was going to be quite that difficult. The employees use the same system, but it's inside the intranet. So accessing it is not a problem at all. Once you log onto your city computer, you can access it.
Right. It's
Well, we
external,
know-
it's the external.
That's right. It's the external users that we're having difficulty. And you can see by the numbers that almost half of the external users that needed to do mandatory training were unable to log in. So Department of Human Resources have been asking exactly what the issues are. So we are going to share these comments with them in the hope that they can either fix the system, or the next time around we offer, as Kirsten has mentioned, maybe a hybrid training of in-person or online, depending upon which one, you know, you can access, in hopes that we can have a better number by the end of the training biennium.
Or just a step-by-step instruction sheet that says, go to this site. When you see this icon, click on that icon, to be specific with visuals. That would be very helpful. Then it would be much easier, because
Even if it's screenshots.
yeah, I kept hitting the wrong button because it said for commissioners, but it wasn't for this. So it was just, Jan will be able to really give you the specifics of how she walked me through.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate your comments and your patience. I understand it was extremely frustrating.
Yes.
Go on.
Moving on to slide 13.
Excuse me, there's some crosstalk from somebody online whose microphone is not muted.
The one that fell in the water and this one and then one
Is there
short.
anybody who can see?
One close to one of these.
Chair Jimon, is it possible that you could mute your microphone? We're getting some background noise.
Okay. I'll try.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Slide 13, please. So we scheduled our pop-up events for the year. Our pop-up events are a great way for city employees, the general public, to stop by our table, learn about, who we are, what we do, and of course, play a fun game. So we kicked off our pop-up event here at Home Base Kapalamahala on February 14th. That was last week Friday. We had a pretty steady flow of attendance. I would say about 18 people stopped by our table, and they really enjoyed the game that we had. The flyer is in your meeting materials. And then we also have scheduled for the rest of the year all over the place. We're going to the Fosse Municipal Building, Honolulu Hale, Kapolei Hale, all kinds of places. And the flyer will also be in your meeting materials. And we're very excited. I think a lot of people seem to enjoy these types of events. So, yeah. Slide 15, please. That's just a continuation of the pop-up events. And we released our first newsletter of the year. We decided to go with the Year of the Snake theme. And it's just a newsletter talking about who we are, what we do. I feel like it's a great time to release that type of newsletter, getting into the new year, refresh your memory on some things. And that will also be in your meeting materials. And with that, I have finished my report.
Thank you. On slide 16, there was a COCO Connect on February 6th. I don't know if anyone attended. No. Then we'll move on. These, slides 17 and 18 are just dates to remember. The Society of Corporate Compliance and Ethics Conference in September. And then on slide 18, the Council of Governmental Ethics Laws Conference in December in Atlanta. We also had one distribution for this meeting. We didn't receive and were unable to post your report the last time. So we have included it in the meeting materials. This is Commissioner Rice's report from having attended the Cold Conference. I don't know if you want to add to that.
No, it's all there. Very, very thorough. I do want to go again. I encourage everyone to go. It's very valuable.
Thank you. On slide 19, we have kicked off our strategic planning permitted interaction group. We did meet, and I don't know whether Chair Jimon, Commissioner Adler, or Commissioner Lynch would like to report on what we did and our plan going forward.
All we did was, it's a start, and we looked at, kind of SWOT analysis and we did an upgrade on that. And we still have yet to do a few more things on the assumptions that we're making about the future. It was a start, and we'll probably have 2 or 3 more meetings and then bring it back to you.
We did decide it was a new one, not a,
Yeah, that's right.
not
Go ahead.
an update, but a new time.
Yeah,
New strategic.
so that will carry us through, it'll be a 5-year plan,
Five,
right?
5 years, right?
So it'll take us through 2030.
We're scheduled to meet again next month.
Yeah.
In what would be our regular.
Right,
Wednesday.
right. On the reserve date,
Right.
the PIG has decided to meet on the reserve date.
At least a better acronym.
Yeah. Unfortunately, PIG is.
I know. It is an unfortunate acronym. It's a cringe thing.
I think it's perfect. All the little piggies meeting.
Anyway, so we will report back again at the next meeting, any progress that we do make. I think the thought is that we will have probably 3 PIG meetings and then bring recommendations back to the commission. And in the following meeting, the commission would make a decision.
Just to chime in, I wanted to say that the strategic plan that had been previously done by the former commissioners and some of the current commissioners was just really detailed and terrific. All we're doing is just updating them and supplementing them. And that's basically what we're doing. So that's the reason why we're able to do that, because we had a good base to start with. That's all I really wanted to say.
Thank you.
Go
I-
ahead.
No, I haven't.
Okay, I wanted to ask if while I was trying to get here, you all discussed the testimony by Natalie Rosso, the written testimony. Okay.
Sure did.
To cover both points, the agenda format and the PIG, what should I say, procedures? Sheldon,
I'm sorry.
did you cover Natalie's memo in full, the
No.
testimony in full?
We did not.
No,
We
I
can go-
just, I summarized it only. So if you want to do that, to
Oh,
cover
I
it
just
in
wanted,
full.
I don't know, I can't see everybody who's here on this screen. If Natalie is here, I would like to thank her. And if she's not, I'd still like to thank her. I thought that her testimony was very constructive and on point. I do think that if you've already, Jen, have you discussed in any detail any of the content? Do you want to address any of that, since it's I submitted as testimony for this meeting?
We can comment on the no update items. We consulted with the Office of Information Practices directly on how to treat standing agenda items.
Right.
They may not always have something, but we wanted to have them on the agenda as reminders or placeholders
Right,
on a continuing basis.
right.
It was OIP's suggestion that we indicate update, and which we do at the highest level of the agenda item. And if there is no update, to also include no update. And that way it would be clear to the public that it is a standing item that no update would be provided at that meeting. On the permitted interaction groups, the commission had made a decision to not move ahead with the other permitted interaction groups, instead to move ahead with a strategic planning one. We do know that we have to end the last ones that had commissioners who are now turned out,
Right,
and then we constitute new pigs with
at a
new
later date.
at a later date. So we know that, but again, it stays on the agenda as a reminder to pick up that work.
Right.
So that's,
Right, thank you. Yeah, and I completely agree with your take on things, and it's helpful to know that on the agenda format, that OIP did in fact provide input that is reflected in the way we're doing it. I understand Natalie's points, but I think that I don't think that we do need to do anything to change our current agenda format. I think it's helpful. And if any member of the public has any questions, of course, they can always raise them with us.
and we have reviewed the opinion that is linked to her, and that is the process that we follow for these permitted interaction groups.
Yeah.
Our understanding is that one meeting creates the PIG. When PIG is complete with its work, then it reports back a formal report to the
Mhm.
commission. In the second meeting, or, the next
Subsequent meeting.
the subsequent meeting. And then it would be until the then subsequent meeting that the commission can make a decision.
Yeah, I
And so
did have
that's
one
the
question
process.
about that, which is, does that preclude interim reporting of the kind that we just had?
No, I thought that bringing back the information to the commission on progress, because the charge had been that the commission had wanted this particular PIG for strategic planning to move quickly.
Mhm.
And so the report was for the purpose of informing the rest of the commission that the PIG had in fact met, and what work we had completed.
Right.
So we thought it would be helpful to
I
the
read her
commission.
testimony, but don't think we're out of compliance.
No, I don't either.
With what she was saying, arguing.
Right.
It's not, if we're right.
We could have, Moana, do you see anything that we're missing here that we need to consider?
Excuse me, I reviewed the OIP training page, and on the agenda item, I guess I would just recommend that you perhaps ask OIP again if a placeholder is appropriate, because when I looked at the training information on OIP, it said placeholders were actually not appropriate. So I'm not completely clear on that.
Okay.
The second, with regard to pigs, Natalie's actually right, in terms of just the three kind of meetings, or I guess, you form the pig, you have the meeting, and then you discuss what you met on, and then you vote if voting is necessary.
Yeah.
But, I understand. I think the concern is ongoing pig meetings, because you don't want to have these ongoing off the record pig meetings. That's not authorized, right? So the concern is, you create the pig, it's a very specific thing that the pig is doing, and then you have the pig meeting and then you report back on it. So continuing the pig meetings is a little bit of an issue. So I don't think Natalie's wrong, but I understand what you're faced with regard to something as big as the strategic planning, for example. Or something like
One meeting.
Well, yeah, that was going to make that point too. Thank you. But I think today, for example, we had a non-substantive update just to say that the pig is meeting and is making progress. So I don't see any problem with that in that it's not reporting out interim results or content.
right.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Just doing our job.
But the other thing is, yeah, I participated in the gifts legislation pig, and that took considerably more than one meeting over several months, just
Mhm.
because of the complexity of the topic and the amount of material that we had to research and digest.
Right.
And so I think while clearly they're meant to be temporary, I think the duration kind of depends on the matter being considered.
I agree. And
Okay.
again, I am definitely not the OIP expert, but I guess if there's any I guess if there's any concerns about the pig, or if anyone has any concerns about what the pig is doing, I would just ask OIP. Because the nature of what you guys are doing is so complex and so intense that in one meeting you just can't cover it all. So the fear is, though, that someone's going to claim that, oh, well, this is just an ongoing meeting, that you need to then have an agenda and have it be public. And,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
we certainly don't want that happen for our pigs.
I think we're in a completely defensible position in that regard. I have no worries on that, but we'll keep it in mind, certainly. I
Yeah.
think Commissioner Rice wanted to say something. I'm sorry.
Oh, I just wanted to ask, I too felt that the no update might be a bit not misleading, but not sufficient for people to understand why there's no update. And I like Moana's suggestion of checking with OIP again about, is it necessary as a placeholder?
Right.
But if it is necessary, maybe frame it differently, like per da 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 da. You know, this update reflects no action at this time. So instead of just no update, it seems like we're not just letting it go, but just a phrase that would be a little more amenable to the public.
We'll circle around again with OIP.
Yeah.
I think it was a concern that was raised years ago by the commission that some work had been requested and then it fell off the agenda.
Yeah.
And then they lost track of it and there was no way to memorialize, that it needed to come back to an agenda.
Maybe-
It was a means to try and keep track of work.
Well, I'm wondering if maybe on the public agenda, if it's inappropriate to have placeholders, that we exclude those, but that we include them in the message to commissioners prior to the meeting, saying the following items are still pending, but with no update, we are not including them in the agenda.
We can check with OIP if there's
See
another
if that-
mechanism
see if that
that
would work.
they can suggest that we can keep track of this work. And, I know that, for example, the reporting items for, say, lobbyists or financial disclosure comes back this time of the year,
Yeah.
right? Because it is a timely thing.
Yeah.
But perhaps there's a better way, to keep track of those
If they're
matters.
responsible for it and there's questions being raised about it, then it needs to change the wording.
Potentially.
Yeah.
We-
Anyway, we
we
will
need to consider-
check with them.
we need
We
to
will check with them and see if there's another.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, we have no executive session at this meeting, so I think that we've concluded all our business. Is there anybody online who has a wish to testify, who hasn't had a chance to do so? If so, please open your mic now and speak up. Hearing none, and seeing that Chair seems to be on the move, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion that we adjourn this meeting.
Second,
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, moved and seconded. Any objection or intend to abstain? Okay, did we introduce our new staffer in
Yes,
part of the meeting I missed? I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. Good. All
You'll
right,
have a
then,
chance to meet her.
I am going to. Absolutely. Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Well done.